What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Fellas, you want to say what up?
What's going on, good people? You already know it's your boy Smooth. You know what I mean? Great show
Yo,
lined up tonight.
it's your boy Dane holding it down.
Indeed.
Holding it down.
Holding it down. Welcome to tonight's show. We definitely have a great show lined up. Tonight's show is Check Your Ego at the Door. We are going to be talking about assumptions, man. People got a lot of assumptions out there. People think that they're hot commodities or the hot topic or whatever the case may be, and sometimes it goes astray. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. What up, though, Keela? Appreciate you joining as always. Definitely appreciate you back on the block and
What's up, baby girl?
checking us out as usual.
Ink Tone.
Oh, Ink Town for sure. So we're gonna get right to it. Shout out to Sunny. I think she's hopefully gonna be joining us in the comments. Definitely we're gonna hold it down for her as well. So definitely shout out to Sunny. So we're gonna get into this topic. I think Dame came up with this topic a couple weeks ago. We were talking about different things, and he had this scenario. If you can remember it, Dame, and quickly run it down for us for the people, because that was like the perfect example of what this topic is about. So if you want to go ahead and tell us about this topic, and then we'll get right to it.
So one of my coworkers' brother came to visit her, and I'm done with her. Okay, Keela. One of my coworkers, her brother drove past the window and said that he saw this big booty mixed girl at our job. He was checking her out, and it was my boss. She's not mixed, but everybody assumed that he was trying to holler at her, which wasn't really it. He was just curious. So one of my other coworkers just got this thing about how she knows everything, and just assume that he should just come on in and holler at her, if he wanted to holler at her, instead of relay the message to his sister, basically.
Oh, right. Yeah. So definitely those scenarios come up here and there. And I think the biggest one with that we were talking about was like how, people, somebody might just be trying to give you a compliment, or maybe somebody be just, saying, hey, that, they look nice, or whatever the case may be. That one, somebody could ride the fence on, like, oh, he feeling what I got. Maybe, he wants to do more or get more. And so, but like you said, he actually wasn't even that interested. He just was scoping, he's just checking it out, which a lot of guys do, right?
Just admiring the scenery. I think a lot of times, like we men, so we visual, like if we see something and it look nice, we're gonna look. That don't mean we want you. That don't even mean we like you. You know what I mean?
Right.
That don't even mean we like, and it goes both ways. Women feel the same way too. You know what I mean? They get married. I've seen plenty of situations to where a woman has told a man to his face, like, you're handsome. You know what I mean? Look good. You know what I mean? All that. And he let it go to his head, thinking, oh, she want me. She ain't even like you like that, bro. She just told you, know what I mean? Give you a compliment. Take the compliment sometimes. You feel me?
Right.
A compliment is just that, a compliment. It means nothing more.
Yeah, I know plenty of times I've heard people say, people always compliment me on this, or people always compliment me on that, and they think that means that they either got the best of this, or that they have, everybody, that any and everybody now wants them because of this one thing. And it's like,
Exactly.
well, yeah, some people may have told you this, but it doesn't mean that everybody wants you because of this, or it doesn't mean that I want you because of this. So it's like, definitely check your ego at the door. Like, not everybody wants you because of this one little thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times that's one of the biggest problems people have when they get compliments is that they let it go to their head way too fast, and then somebody later might bust a bubble.
Now, for disclosure, I've had that happen to me where myself, the particular individual, if they have a certain vibe they're giving off when they compliment you, because the vibe also doesn't help the situation. Like their attitude totally changes when they see you in a different light. They be like, "Oh, you look real handsome." All of a sudden, it can play. Your own mind can play tricks on you too at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely been. I was about to say the victim of that, but you're doing that to yourself, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You may be overthinking the situation. We just talked about overthinking too. So especially growing up, like when I was a teenager, I definitely didn't understand the difference between compliments, flirting, and stuff like that, because to me it all sounded like flirting or it also sounded like they wanted me, you know what I'm saying?
So you saying there's a chance.
Right, exactly. So it was like anytime a female would be nice to me, would compliment me, or would be whatever the case may be, just or maybe light flirting. You know how some people just like flirt with everybody, that kind of thing. I would always take it to the next level immediately, like, oh, she want me, or she like me, or I need to try to holler at her, that kind of thing. Just thinking that any inkling of positivity meant that they liked me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have fallen into that trap plenty of times where I felt like I needed to try to shoot my shot, or I might have even allowed myself to be taken advantage of, because there was also females that I would run into that would use those tactics in order to kind of lead a guy on and make him think like, oh, if he thinks I like him, he'll do things for me. And I was the kind of dude that would like do things for females that would be like, that would give me the time of day. And so it was like that was a trap right there. You know what I'm saying? But it was also me not being able to read the room. You see what I'm saying?
And I think that happens. I think that happened to every man. Got that story if they truly admit it, to where a woman may have showed them interest, and in their mind, the woman showed them interest, but with her, she just using it as she just running game. You feel me? And then at some point you peep it, and then you fall back. But I think those type of situations happen to every man, because especially when it's a fine woman, like come on, you feel me? Or just somebody you really, really attracted to, like you'll do a little extra that you wouldn't normally do. You know what I mean? Do a little extra that you wouldn't normally do, and women know that. Women know that. Women know they can get away with that. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing I was trying to. It's hard to explain to a kid, but I've always been trying to explain it to my son, like because when I was younger, I think part of the way I was raised kind of went to that scenario too, because when I was younger, my mom, she was the type of woman that was like, she raised me to be the perfect gentleman, right? In her mind, I needed to be able to be that guy that would, open the car doors, take a woman's seat, that kind of thing, whatever, pay on dates, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. So when she would tell me stuff, she would mention stuff like that. But then one thing that kind of like messed me up, because she explained it one way, but I think she left out a part where she told me, that women do expect certain things to be handled by a man, right? And the way she put it was like, the way she put it was like, if a woman is giving you attention and is, being with you and this kind of thing, then you should give her gifts, or, take her out, or, spend money on her, or, be extra nice to her, do extra things, little things that will like impress her. And the part I think she missed, because maybe she was naive to the games that some people will play, or B, she just didn't think that I would miss this part from hearing only the one side was that, you know, there's limits, right? There's limits, and then there's situations, right? And I would get myself into these situations where I wouldn't limit the situation, right? I wouldn't limit the things, you know. I remember going out on a date with this girl. This was literally like our second date, might have been our third, but this girl asked me to buy her some gym shoes, right? Right, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I definitely look back on myself like, damn, I was a sucker, but you know, but like I went and bought her some gym shoes, and it was cheap shoes, you know, inexpensive shoes, not cheap, but they were inexpensive shoes. But that wasn't the point, right? The point was that, and that's, you know, of course, that's what the girl kind of played on. Was like, oh, you know, I really want to look nice for this, you know, situation, blah blah blah. It wasn't even about the date; it was something else that she had going on. And she was saying how, you know, she didn't have the right shoes to go with it, this outfit or whatever, and she really wanted to look nice for it, and you know, if I could buy them for her, you know, she would you know, be able to look her best and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, the shoes was like $40 or something crazy like that. But still, you know, it was just like literally we had been on like a couple of dates. She was not my woman. She was, you know what I mean? I was young, dumb. What's the word? You know, I know how to finish that statement.
Yeah, I'm good.
And,
I'm good.
You know, and so she played on that, right? And got what she wanted out of it, you know. Of course, we only had like one or two more dates after that. That was about it. So nothing really came of it, but she got some shoes out of the deal, right? You know, but I always felt like that guidance kind of steered me wrong, right? You know, I had to learn the hard way how to do, like how to limit things, how to recognize when people are using you. You know what I mean? How to recognize when, and how to recognize when my assumptions don't match up with reality. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times that's the hardest thing to do. You know, even when I can put limits on certain things and do certain things right, still trying to match up assumptions with reality can sometimes be challenging. You know, especially when it comes to the fact of, you know, maybe your self-esteem. Like I had, you know, I wouldn't say low self-esteem as a teenager and a young adult, but I didn't have the highest self-esteem, right? You know, I didn't feel like I was the kind of dude that women would be coming after. I definitely didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like I was, you know, the cutest guy or whatever the case may be. So, you know, and I was self-conscious about my weight, not realizing women like big men. You know, I was self-conscious about my skin because of I had acne really bad, you know, as well as, you know, I wasn't an athlete or anything. I didn't have, you know, I didn't have a lot that I felt at the time going. And so when the compliments are coming in, it was like, boom, boom, boom. My head was just blown up, or I felt like that woman just really, really wanted me, that kind of thing. So,
So let's go back to the title. On plenty of shows, y'all heard me plenty of times say, I feel, which I think is a fact, but I'm gonna just say it's my opinion for the people, that women egos are way superior. You know what I mean? Than men. Like women have their egos can't be matched. Everybody always talk men like our egos stroked. That's the difference. Women, they just naturally have a bigger ego than us. You feel me? So I think that's what we fall victims sometimes. And women know, all we got to do is stroke his ego. You feel me? And we can get something from him. You know what I mean? But as far as women, they think so. For the most part, a lot of them think so highly of themselves already that 9 times out of 10, you feel me? The compliment that you giving them, they done heard that probably the 10th time that day.
Right.
You know what I mean? They done probably heard that compliment, so it really don't mean nothing to them. That's why I say sometimes when we talk about chivalry, because this is kind of what the conversation is about. You know what I mean? Chivalry is dead, and women killed it. You know what I mean? So when I was thinking about when we was talking about coming up with this topic, and we was talking about the title, and when I said check your ego at the door, I really meant that literally and figuratively, because I was talking to a friend of mine. I was telling her how it's been so many times that I held the door open for a woman or what have you, and you know they'll take it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Sometimes they won't even say thank you, but sometimes they'll take it as you trying to, you know what I mean? That's
What you hold
your
the
way
door open
in. It's
for me
like that.
for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
what you
like
holding the door open for me? We ain't
I
dating.
was raised decently. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
told to hold the
I'm sorry, I
door
was raised
open
by
for people.
humans. I
Yeah,
was raised
nah,
by
you know what I mean?
humans. Sorry.
But you know, that ego sometimes, and you know, I understand they may be dealing with a lot of men coming at them, but you can't walk around with that demeanor as if you feel me. Can't nobody like your shit don't stink. First of all,
Right.
you know
True.
what I mean, and that's not the case. That's not the case. I notice a lot of women that have that's that type of ego too, got a lot of shit going. You feel me?
Superiority, ego,
A
or
lot of negative
superiority.
shit, other negative shit going on in their life, and but you don't see it until you really get to know them. You know
Right.
what I mean? So like, you definitely gotta check your ego at the door. As far as men, like I said, we need our ego stroked. So if we like, I know this dude's like, say a bad one, a fish one,
Yeah.
stroke that ego. You feel me? Nothing you view less than her, you feel me, can really tell you nothing
Right.
about
Yeah.
yourself. You feel me? Even
Right.
if they try to tell you some truth about yourself. Well, listen, sweetheart, you see this baddie over here done told me, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You feel
Exactly.
me? And that's how but in reality, like, you know, she probably the one that's giving you them big old compliments, probably just running game with you. You
Right.
feel me? And letting you think your shit don't stink when your shit really do.
Yeah. I've definitely been in that situation where uh I had certain women give me compliments or maybe I was dating or whatever the case may be, and I kind of felt like, I'm already at the top of the world. I'm good. I don't need your whatever you're talking about, that's fine, but I don't need your critique or whatever the case may be. And I definitely, and sometimes I think it's good sometimes to have that, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just need that, right? You may need that one person that can put you on top of the world, so that way you can feel, or you can have that self-esteem that you need to push through, right? Because I know that really is what kind of happened for me. It was a combination of women, but it was like there was like I said, coming up as a teenager, going into adulthood, I definitely didn't feel like I had anything really that women wanted. And, it was like, I think it was my first real girlfriend that was like we were seriously serious. And, she would compliment me here and there, or she would, just do certain things that just made me, feel like I was wanted and that kind of thing. And that kind of, really pushed me up a notch, you know what I'm saying? And gave me more confidence in myself. You know what I'm saying? I had been with other girls before, but not in a serious sense. And so, either I would feel like, oh, they just want me for this, or they just wanted me to do that for them, that kind of thing. But having somebody who makes you really feel like, oh, you know what, I feel wanted, or I feel like this is real, like what they're saying is real, or what they're saying is true about me. I think that really resonated for me and made me feel, more confident, made me more assertive sometimes too in certain situations, because then I felt like, what, in the past that was just me being, overthinking this whole situation. I really do have something going for me. I'm just not everybody's cup of tea, right? You know what I'm saying? Back then I didn't know what to call it, but now I know you're just not everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes you're gonna run into people who gonna really just be feeling you, and a lot, sometimes, or a lot of times, you're gonna run into people who don't, and once you have enough experience, you'll realize too that, there's certain women, men too, on the other side, that will take a liking to you and just will never tell you. You know what I'm saying? You'll get into that situation where you can tell something going on, but they'll never let it out. They'll never tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Either because they're in a situation, or they're just not confident enough in themselves, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I literally had a woman tell me, like, oh, when we first met, I just didn't feel like you would be into me, and so I never said nothing. And it's like, oh shoot, you should have been said something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sometimes women, their ego and their pride get in the way from meeting the man they want because they feel as though, or I don't want to say meet them, not just meet the man they want, or just get the man they want.
Yeah.
Because their pride and ego won't allow them to say something first.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
sometimes not even their pride or ego. It could be their how they feel about their social,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because the social norm is for the man to step up. Yeah. The man is supposed to step up and say something first. Women aren't supposed to approach men.
Societal norms. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, they'll norms.
Yeah,
with societal norms. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is the 21st century. You can do whatever you want. You want to equal rights. Now's your right to holler at me now.
Shoot your shot.
shoot your shot, girl. Ashley had one girl actually do that to me though. I mean, it was inconvenient at the moment because she was really cool, but I was already dating somebody, which I really, really wish she would have said something before I started dating this girl.
How many times has that happened to y'all?
Oh, plenty.
Bruh. That make me mad at them. That make me like really dislike them after they tell me that. Like, don't talk to me no more. Because now I'm in this situation that I don't want to be in because you wouldn't open your mouth. You would have told me this.
And you know what? And I blame that girl because I ended up dating somebody from Pittsburgh because hey Bert.
So and their Tia just said it right there. It makes us look easy and aggressive. And that's the thing. It's like what women don't realize is that most men, we love easy though. but we do love assertion. We love women to be assertive. That's all that is. Easy and aggressive is definitely not the things that most of us are thinking when we get approached like that. We're usually just thinking, oh, she was assertive and she went, like Brett said, she went for what she wants as a woman. She know what she wants and she came and got it. And I've definitely been in those situations where, the woman wants you to the point that she's going to come get you. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, I mean, unless you're some kind of alpha male who feels like that, you got to be the caveman that rips the woman out of the cave and drags her down the street. Unless you that kind of guy, everybody else, we don't mind being pursued. We don't mind, and not even really being pursued. And that's another thing I think women got to realize. It's not that we want to be pursued. I think most of us, even when we allow a woman to come to us first, we're going to go back and flip it and pursue her. We're still going to come back and flip it. So don't get it twisted, women. We're not looking for you to pursue us just because you came and got us. Once you come and get us, we're going to flip it on you and we're going to be pursuing you then. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's somebody watching right now that knows that one of these guys on this show right here has done that to them. That it's like we don't want the what they call it. We don't want just the theater of it. We want the opportunity. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I think too that with the opportunity, like you said, Smooth, is that a lot of times we're in a situation or we're going into a situation, and it definitely can either be avoided or we will definitely switch it up and be like, you know what? I see better potential in this over here. You see what I'm saying? Is it technically their fault? Maybe not technically, but it's still, hey, don't leave food on the table if you want to eat. You know
sometimes it's just knowing we got the opportunity. Like we're human. So we don't pick up on everything. You know what I mean? We're not going to pick up on every sign, on every subtle sign that you may be trying to throw at us to get us to get at you. Right. So sometimes the best course is for you to say something. Just say something. You feel me? And then from there, like Willie said, we on go. We all in now. Now we got it. We'll take it from here. You let us know. Oh, all right, okay. But sometimes I feel like really it's because, like you said, societal norms, and then they're afraid of that rejection.
We are too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. We're afraid of that rejection too. You know what I mean?
But you know,
Like
but you know what? Women,
we have feelings too. You know what I
but you
mean?
know
Like
what?
it's
But
crazy.
low key, if women actually did this more often, it would save a lot of time and heartbreak and time wasted because you can see how that guy treats you. If you're a priority, he will. Oh, I got an option open. I'm
Hmm.
going full board. The time that guy spends on you is how much he actually wants to reciprocate your feelings for him.
And I want to say, go back to what Tia said about making it. I feel like sometimes that's a cop out. I'm gonna keep it at 100. You feel me? Sometimes I really
Preach.
feel like that's a cop out
Say it again,
because
bro.
like Willie mentioned earlier, sometimes we all, men and women alike, no matter how much you like somebody, you just may not be their cup of tea. You know what I mean? So, a couple things go into that. So, like we saying, the fear of rejection. You know what I mean? So if you say something and you get rejected, it's not because, oh, she easy or she doing too much. It's because it may be just as simple as I don't see you that way.
Or he not a fan.
You feel me? And it ain't gotta be that deep. I'm just like, nah, I mean, me and you not gonna coexist. I know some fly ass women, you hear me? Cool as shit. But I know some of us can never be in a relationship just for how we handle business differently. Or, you know, it could be something as religion or something as, handling finances or how you handle arguments or disagreements. That I know if we get, this will kill us if we get into a relationship. We wouldn't be able to coexist. So to kill a friendship. In certain situations. But it's like the brother said, looking at you thinking you easy or aggressive, like nah, like men don't think like that. You feel me?
Yeah,
Men
not
don't
usually,
think like
definitely
that.
not usually.
No,
Yeah,
And
no,
the thing,
is your attitude and the way you act make you look easy. How you portray,
exactly.
how you carry yourself makes you look easy, not you pursuing a dude that you might
true.
like.
Right, true that, true that. That is true. That is true. And I mean, I don't know if there's anything that a man would feel is aggressive in a woman coming to say, hey, I really like you, or I really digging you, or I'm feeling you, that kind of thing. But it may be something else that he may feel she's aggressive at. Maybe it might be, what I mean? Because I know I've definitely been friends or known, been acquainted to certain women who are aggressive, but it's not has nothing to do with relationships. It's usually to do with just how they handle business or how they handle other people, in situations. So it has nothing to do with relationship stuff or trying to, pursue someone. And Tia's point, women overthink rejections. And I can see how that can happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you may feel, I mean, that'll mess with your self-esteem if you feel like it was a guaranteed catch or it was a guaranteed win. It may mess with your thoughts of how you pursued or was pursued, or you may feel like it's something to do with, maybe with how you dress, how you look, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of times overthinking rejections is a big thing. And I know
Men
men
do
do
that
it too.
too.
It's not just a woman thing. Men
Yeah,
overthink rejections as well. Like I said, when I was younger, I always felt like, I wasn't wasn't the type of guy that women would want to be with, or, that any woman that I wanted would want to be with me, that kind of thing. So definitely when I would shoot my shot when someone would be, especially when it would be those situations that I felt complimented, felt like she was flirting with me, that kind of thing. I always kind of felt like if I shot my shot, it would be kind of guaranteed, or at least like I'll give you a chance. But as soon as they would shoot me down, man, talk about like overthink, man, I would totally be heartbroken, but also overthinking it because I would be like, where did I go wrong? What did I do? Because I would always think like I did something wrong in the pursuit, not realizing that what I was assuming based on the interactions was anything.
Mine was I had a couple of girls that I pursued, but I was doing I think last week's episode. I was waiting in the wind and waiting for the situationship they were in to end or whatever they was waiting. I was just waiting. I was being that friend, waiting for them waiting for something to slip up or waiting for the situation to change. I was their friend. I think I did that before.
You was that dick in the jar.
I have four girls I can count that I did that for.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 43 now. I mean, I can say honestly, from my teenage years to manhood, that I had 4 people that I actually genuinely liked.
I'm only saying wow because you only got 4. I'm like, I know I got more than that.
No.
I can guarantee you, I got at least 6, maybe 8 that I was sitting around.
That number's
probably with that nigga. I'm in there.
No, I'm looking at Willie. I'm thinking about Willie. Like, damn, that number's still kind of low.
But honestly, the number I've counted 4 is significant numbers because those people that I was genuinely interested in, that people I got to know.
Oh, not even just the ones you just want to smash. If we talking those, that number is really high.
I plead as Clint said earlier, I plead the fifth on this one. So
exactly.
I know, especially when I was younger and way more immature, because for a while there, I never, like, I was one of the ones who thought, I'm talking about especially when I was a teenager, like, and I'm talking about like 17, 18, 19, when you really start dealing with women on a different, or girls on a different level, not that junior high stuff, but from like 17 to like 24, like I really thought like I really can't be friends with a woman, like real friends with a woman. You know what I mean? It's always something. You feel me? Like, yeah, if she let me in, you feel me? It's a go.
It's going down.
It's going down. You feel me?
It's about to go down.
So like I really, that's why I say when that number is like, but then as I got older, I realized like, nah, I mean, because even then I would have women that I was real close to, but instead of calling them friends, I called them family. Like that's family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once I accept you as family, it's like I'm never gonna cross that line. That's me letting you know I'm not friend zoning you, because I may go further for you than I would a girl that I'm dating right now, because I love you in a whole
different kind of way.
Different kind of way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if like being friends with a woman,
and the fact that I respect this friendship enough that I want to keep us in that position.
Exactly. So we can never fall out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We can never fall out. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, to the women that, you know, we cool, we kick it, and all we doing is just probably going out. You know what I mean? Deep down, I knew if I get a chance, I'm going in. To where that woman I call family, like we can kick it, we can go out, and that thought never crossed my mind in the slightest. You know what I mean? At least a bit.
No doubt. I feel you there. Yeah, I definitely have the same situation. Joy is a perfect example. Me and Joy have been friends for I think like 5 years now, 6 years. Whenever I introduce her as my sister. We have been able to just talk to each other about almost everything. We've been like therapists to each other. Well, she's legit been like a therapist to me because she actually has a degree in it. But we've definitely been there where we can talk to each other about anything. And we definitely aren't looking to ever be together or anything like that, because it's just not that kind of relationship. We definitely have one of those friendships where it's like we just vibe off the vibes and that we just cool. And it's like you said, it's that same thing where it's like you want certain women that you pursue, there's certain women that you're just friends with, and there's just other people that you just may be acquaintance with. So you definitely learn that over time, how to separate that, versus when you're younger and you're like, you're just trying to fuck everything. Like, be honestly, we was literally just trying to fuck everything. Every girl that was nice to us, every one of them that was just seemed cool, it was like, oh, you want to smash? Like,
she just gave you the receipt back. She don't want to smash.
and be more conscious of what type of people you're dealing with and who to keep around you, you know what I'm saying, versus who to let go. You see?
Yeah, it's like she gave you a receipt back. She doesn't want to smash though. She's placing your order or she's working. What's the craziest thing that you have ever done because you thought somebody was actually interested in you? Like,
bought this girl some gym shoes.
I've purchased shoes and dresses.
Dang, I ain't never purchased no girl no dress that wasn't my woman. That one I haven't done. Shoes definitely, but not.
I had to hook up. I knew somebody that worked somewhere. Was it Marshalls? Was it Hudson's? Whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Shit, man. I to me, money is the easiest thing. You feel me? You can do. You feel me? It really ain't no, emotion behind that to me, especially if you got it. You know what I mean? Like Fab said, it ain't tricking if you got it.
Exactly.
You feel me? So I tell women that, some women cool with that. A man just buying them stuff, but knowing the only reason why he buying you stuff to make it easier for him to keep getting them draws or whatever.
Right.
But me, the craziest thing I ever did, I really can't explain the situation because, legality stuff. But, I put myself in situations to where, my life was on the line before.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To where, maybe I would have had to do something to somebody, or just for me showing up, somebody would have did something to me. You know what I mean? Trying to be Captain Saberhuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I regret those situations.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that has an effect on your real life day to day. You know what I mean? You feel them ripple effects, not just in that moment, but as time goes on. So crazy. Like, yeah, man. Like, yeah. Especially with a woman that, I don't even talk to no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we see each other, we just walking right by each other. You feel me? So that's probably the craziest thing. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever done. To where I put
mine doesn't top that, but I definitely one of the other things that I did was I guess it was kind of like on a friendship thing, but I also was really just doing it because I really liked this girl. But it was during the time I was in college or just after college, and a friend of mine was still in school and needed rides back and forth from school back to the city. And what they call it, the weekends she would call me up, right, and be like, hey, if you're in the area or if you could help me out, could you come pick me up? I'll come down to the city, we'll come hang out, and then I might need a ride back or whatever, or I'll try to catch a ride back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, literally for like, I think it was at least 3 weeks, if not 4 weeks, that she did that. Not in a row, but pretty close, like 1 week, another week, and then she'll skip a couple weeks and, that kind of thing. So it was at least 3 times, if not 4. And I remember, I think it was the first time I did see her like that Saturday or something like that. We hung out for a little bit, whatever the case may be. But the other times it was like I would go pick her up, and it was like a Friday, Friday afternoon, pick her up, get her to the city, and then I wouldn't hear back from her until Sunday. Like, easy. Like, okay. Because I'll be like, oh, let me know what you up to. Let me know when we can hook up or whatever the case may be. And like I said, like literally, I wouldn't hear back until she needed that ride back on Sunday. So the first time it happened, second time it happened, then after that, I was like, wait a minute, like, this is a pattern. You know what I'm saying? That third time, I was like, bro, like, and I think I even pursued her that third time, like, hey, so, I ain't heard from you, everything good, what's going on? And she kind of just blew me off, right? And either I talked to her cousin or aunt or grandma or somebody like that, and they was like, yeah, she out with her boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, boyfriend? Like, oh, really? Okay. Like, why the nigga ain't picking you up from school then? You know what I'm saying? You so bad, you can't hang out with your boy. So, so I let that go. Like, man, I'm not about to be a sucker for love just because you need a ride. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And,
what?
I definitely, she was, of course, one of the ones that I was sitting on the sideline, like, soon as she done with this next nigga, you know what I'm saying? And, realize like that wasn't never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you definitely have to kind of like grow up and experience these things and go through these things and then take a look back at it in retrospect, like, dang, you know what was I thinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what made me think that was cool or that was going to work? You know what I'm saying?
Was I there one of those times that you took her to school?
Maybe.
I think we'll talk after the show.
Right. Yeah, you know who it is, but yeah, I don't know if you were there, but you know who it is. don't be saying names on TV.
No, that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped.
I keep everybody. I keep all the innocent. I protect the innocent on this show.
Yeah.
Except when you
like I said earlier, I did that to myself. That was my fault.
When I be talking about women, I make sure I combine them all together so none of them know who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly.
You feel me?
Me, as long as I don't get no names, I don't care.
I know a couple of them watch. Like, is he talking about me? Like, nope.
Hey, you know what? Long as I don't say no names, I don't care. You know who you are.
Right. Yeah. Usually I like to switch and swap, combine. But there's a few that I will be like, I'll be directly naming situations. They'll know who they are. They definitely know. I don't got a DM or two like, you were talking about me, weren't you? Like, it was all good though, right? It's cool.
But
we grown now. I don't care.
Right.
See, this is why I wanted. I know we got the ladies in the comments, but I wanted another woman on here because I want the women to speak specifically to their egos.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I mean? That's because. Am I echoing?
No, you good.
Oh, so like because I would like some insight, and I would like to hear how they respond, how they feel like when I say like y'all egos are far bigger than ours. How do y'all take that? I mean, how do y'all feel about that? What you mean? What I mean? So most women think men have these huge egos. Like I said, the difference between us is like men, we need our ego stroked. Like men are way more sensitive than women. I always say that. I'd be like, them two narratives is and women know the truth, especially y'all that got sons. Like y'all already know the truth. You know what I mean? Boys and men are way more sensitive. You have your outliers, of course, but for the most part, boys are way more sensitive than women. And women, I feel like, are way more like their egos are way higher. You know what I mean? Than men, because women look down on a lot of men when they have no place and standing to be looking down on men. You feel me? Especially when you see they situations and then they still expect. That's why I don't agree with everything he said. But the Kevin Samuels, that's why a lot of women don't like him. But some women do because he quick to point out, like, you know what I mean, you out here thinking you deserve this, that, and the third when you really ain't on that level to receive this, that, and the third from anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of women,
and I mean, I raised a lot of girls. My I have 4 girls and 2 boys, and so of course I've watched, and even with my sisters and cousins, I've watched those young ladies grow up with varying degrees or levels of confidence and, like you say, ego, right? And one of my daughters is very, very, confident. Well, actually, 2 of them are very, very confident. High level of confidence. And between the other 2 and a couple of my cousins, I've seen other degrees, lower degrees of confidence and maybe even low self-esteem in certain cases, where it took something either happening to them or somebody saying something or enough people saying something to kind of bring them up out of that. But what I do think is that that I would say in society we have normalized women having bigger egos. We have normalized women having more confidence, which I like. You know, I think it kind of blinded me to what I needed to do for my daughters more often than not when it came to making sure that they had high levels of confidence. But I still feel like as a society we have at least pushed out there like women and women empowerment, be who you want to be, try your hand at whatever. Don't feel like what you look like is any, it doesn't detract from who you are inside. What you want to be is who you can be, that kind of. So it's like it's not that we've regressed. We've definitely progressed in that, and normalizing being able to allow women to have that ego, and and rightfully so a lot of times, right? Sometimes it backfires on certain women because they may get so big that they may shoot themselves in the foot in certain situations. But for the most part, I think it's something that we've normalized. Men, like you said, we definitely have a different type of ego, where it's some guys, they have that bigger ego where they're like, oh, I'm the shit, I can do no wrong, every woman wants me, every man wants to be me, blah 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 blah. But a good majority of us, I think, have this ego where we're like, I know I'm good, I know I'm wanted, but I need somebody to validate that, to justify that, to make sure that what I think is correct, right? So I think a lot of times, we definitely have to be validated. You know what I'm saying? Versus women don't look for validation; they just look for accommodation.
To Lakeela's point, see, confidence and ego, and to Jasmine's point, are two different things. You know what I mean? You could be confident. Part of having an ego is having a certain level of confidence, but then it can get to a point to where, like Willie just mentioned, it could turn into delusions of grandeur if it's too high. You know what I mean? My thing with let me use this as a sample, and I want to see what the women think. A man may constantly need, because we're sensitive. A lot of men may need to be ego stroked by a lot of women, or multiple. And when I say having your ego stroked, that does not necessarily mean they want to sleep with you or this, that, and the third. To whereas a woman, and a man can have the woman he want, but he still want that validation from other women. You feel me? To where a woman, if she got the man she want and he validate, you know what I mean, and he stroked that ego properly, she's satisfied with that. You know what I mean? She's satisfied with that. To whereas, dudes, we still, because we so fragile, you know what I mean? The male ego so fragile that we be looking, you know what I mean? We be needing that thing stroked by different people. And I know it's women like that too, but I just think the majority is more, it's a higher percentage of men who operate like that than women. You feel me? Like I said, nothing is ever 100% in anything. You feel me? But
True that.
you feel me?
You know what?
Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna pull a Willie and protect the innocent. I know this one guy. He married, a couple of kids. He tells me he's happy. He loves his wife, all his heart, but he works in public relations. One customer came through, stroked his ego a little bit. He liked it. Doesn't want nothing from this woman, but it felt good to have his ego stroked by another woman, and no, not his spouse. So that goes to tell you that sometimes just men's egos are weird, basically.
Well, I mean, I think that happens to a lot of people, not only just men, but women too. I mean, remember the Aisha Curry situation? That's the same exact thing.
That's what was running through my mind when I was saying what I was saying. That's what was running through my mind when I was saying what I was saying.
Yep, exactly. So, and then if you look at, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joe Budden's girlfriend. You guys are probably familiar with Joe Budden, but Joe Budden has a girlfriend who has an Instagram page full of thirst traps. She you know, what's the word? She claims Joe. He goes on her comments sometimes and that kind of thing. But when you look at her page, you know, it looks like the kind of page of either a single woman or a woman looking for attention would have, right? Definitely a single. You would think she was single because she puts a lot of like stuff on there where she's like her comments, or not her comments, her captions make it sound like she's looking for somebody and all this kind of stuff. It's like, you know, kind of like to draw people in, that kind of thing. So the pictures and the comment and the captions kind of make it seem like she's looking, right? But when you look at that relationship and say, okay, they got a whole relationship going on, I think for a couple of years now and everything. And it's like, that's the thing. Some people can still want validation from outside of that relationship, right? And yeah, like DJ Stacy just said, and what up though, Stacy? Appreciate you stopping through. Saying that women want the same, but then some folks will label them a hoe. And that's what happened with Aisha Curry's situation. She was like, I just want to feel this, you know, this attention, or I want to feel like I still got
admiration
so many years and so many babies. And
I disagree.
About what?
That wasn't why she wanted it.
She wanted admiration.
It's because it's her ego.
Oh, okay,
Steph, right. You know, you got your man Chef Curry. Everybody loves Steph Curry. You feel me? Everybody, men, women, kids, you feel me? Love Steph. She felt that pressure. You feel me? She felt that pressure. She didn't enjoy being in the background. You feel me? She wanted to be on that stage, front and center, just like he was, just like he is. Excuse me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That really ain't had nothing to do with, oh, I just, you know, that was the cleanup. You know, that's what she came up. That was the cleanup. But deep down, it came from a spot to where, damn, my man getting all this attention. I want some too. That's what that came down to. Know what I mean?
Yeah, her podcast wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, you feel me? Like she wanted to be on the screen. She wanted to be a celebrity too. You feel me? She wanted that attention.
The sad part is her daughter got more.
She needed her ego, like she needed her ego stroke, but it wasn't because Steph wasn't giving her that attention.
Well, yeah, well, that was the thing. She was clear that Steph was still giving her attention and that he was still, you know, she felt, or she at least said that she felt, you know, that she was loved, but she also wanted that external love too. She wanted that external attention from others. And what I was attributing it to was the same situation that I go through with, I mean, I used to go through this with women I dated, or I would go through this with family members who you could compliment them, and then they would be like, oh, you know, kind of like, you have to say that, you know, you have to give me these compliments. You know, they're looking for validation from external parties. They're looking for validation from people who they feel don't owe them anything. And once they get that from them, now they feel validated, or they feel like it, you know, what you said was now correct. And one thing that stood out to me with Tia was saying that, you know, she had her confidence was low after a 20-year relationship. And, you know, I don't know what the situation there was, but, you know, I can only imagine there's a few different scenarios that brings up. And that's that, you know, a lot of times you can be torn down by the person you're with. So you need that external validation, right? You need somebody to kind of lift you back up, because what you're getting inside is, you know, either you're getting gaslighted or you're getting torn down, you know, and so now you need that external validation. I mean, the reasons and the scenarios are many, you know, when it comes to that.
But on that same note, though, and this is directed at Tia, And I'm not saying she looking for, you know what I mean, but those same external validations, they're only gonna hold you over for so long.
True.
You're gonna have to find that within yourself.
or
You feel me?
refill with some new ones, because all that extra external validations, you have to look for the next one to keep coming at you to refill that missing piece that you didn't get from somebody else.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for our boss, Sonny, you know what I mean? But Sonny on here plenty of times, and she even said it on the social media, said, you know, after going through whatever her situation, her heartache, she felt it was hard to trust. She didn't trust herself to be or to choose the right person, because just like in Tia's situation, you know, she probably her confidence may be shaken. You feel me? Her self-esteem may be shaken. And you know, my advice was to Sonny was, sometimes you got to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You got to learn to enjoy and love being by yourself. That don't mean you have to stay by yourself, but you know, until you learn, like, okay, I enjoy me, just being around me, just doing me. You feel me? No external validation is ever going to bring you out of that funk. You feel me? Because niggas just gonna say shit just to say it.
Right.
You feel me? And like I said, a compliment is just that. It's just that, a compliment. If I see something nice, that's nice. You look good, shorty. You know what I mean? That's just that. You feel me? Don't let that make you feel, you know, it may make you feel good in that moment, but realize that's just that. That's just that moment. You feel me? If you don't have it within yourself, it's just not going to mean anything
You know
at the
the
end of the
funny
day.
thing, the funny thing is with Aisha Curry's situation, she was a third love Curry in that house because her daughter caught more attention
Right.
than she did at the interviews and press conferences that she was doing. She took over when Steph would bring her to the games. Like, no, nobody, no. So she was really getting it.
Yeah, I mean, to both of y'all points, I think the biggest thing is that external validation, that external compliments, those external things, even the internal stuff that when you get it from other people that's in your home or that's right around you, a lot of that is still not gonna satisfy what you need until you can see that for yourself, right? You definitely have to see it for yourself. You definitely have to be able to look past your own flaws, look past your own issues, and say, you know what, I'm enough. I'm enough for everybody. I'm enough for me, and that you know that you are more than you thought you were. You know, I don't want to sound like Christopher Robin on Winnie the Pooh or nothing, but you know.
Your head's not that big.
Lakila, if you can't answer this question from a woman's perspective, matter of fact, any of the women in the chat, but Lakila specifically said she like to put her man on a pedestal, right? Now, my question to her, as when she did that before, has she ever done that to a man who was not ready to be put on that pedestal or unprepared? Because sometimes, you know, all of us ain't ready for that situation, or to be, they don't know how to deal with being put on a pedestal or being because that's pressure.
Right.
Now, I mean, because I told you, you mentioned Joe Budden, one of my favorite rappers, and one part of his lyric he always said was, when he was like, "Nah, I mean, you put me on a pedestal I didn't even earn, and then when I didn't meet that expectation, you judge me on that instead of judging me on who I am, actually, not the pedestal you put me on." You feel me? So my question to her is, has she ever dealt with a man and put him on a pedestal and then realized, and he also realized he wasn't prepared or couldn't live up to that standard?
Yeah, definitely let us know that. Now, I mean, I think probably
And
several
have
of
y'all
us,
ever been in that situation?
me myself,
As a
you know,
woman,
that's the one thing I've always hated about dating and relationships for me, is because I've been the one to put that woman on a pedestal or to uplift this woman and then not get the same in return. You know, what I didn't realize was that I did need that back in the day. I just assumed that, you know, it wasn't the norm, right? It wasn't the norm for the man to get that, you know, to get that upliftment, to get supported, to get treated with, you know, that kind of love where you feel like you're being put on a pedestal, or whatever the case may be, and maybe not even just put on a pedestal, so to speak, but just being, like I said, uplifted, right, in such a way that you feel that upliftment. You know, one thing, you know, I was telling my girl recently was like, you know, I appreciate you supporting me and my situations and my dreams and my, you know, my goals. You know, just rooting me on. You know, if nothing else, just rooting me on. Like, hey, you know, that's great you're doing this, and, you know, that kind of thing, where instead of tearing the person down. And I think that, you know, that's, for me, that's one of the biggest things that I always need. Like, I always, you know, and not to say that I need it to the point where I just don't feel like I can do it, you know, but it's just like, it feels good to know that at least I have that person in my corner. You know, that's what I need. I need that support. Support me so I can support you. You know what I'm saying? Jasmine says she will hype up and encourage her man, but will not put him on a pedestal. It's not truly earned, and the hype needs to be reciprocated. Yeah, and yeah, that's a big thing. Is you know, feeling that. And I mean, to Keela's point earlier, I think that was one of the reasons that Smooth asked the question, is that, you know, sometimes people do put people on that pedestal, whether they deserve it or not.
Okay, Lakeela, I see it. Okay.
All right, here she goes. She said, some situations, just the male realizes they not who I hyped them up to be and felt they weren't good enough. And I had men become encouraged and become the person I put on the pedestal. So that's that potential, right? I mean, you know, when you're younger, that's okay. You know, I definitely don't knock anybody who's pushing a person to their potential when they're young and it's early on, that kind of thing. I mean, when we're in the late 30s and 40s, you know, nobody should be waiting on you to figure out your potential. Like,
exactly.
It's too late for all that. You know, exactly. Yeah, you can get new potential. That's fine. Yeah. Have some potential. Have some things you've already
new goals and aspirations.
And you shouldn't at this age, at our age, in our age group, we shouldn't be relying on nobody to motivate us to do no shit anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you know what I enjoy the support, but I'm already doing it, right? You know, that's the thing. It's like, it's one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, when I'm thinking of something new, I might be like, you know what, babe, you know, I really want to do this, you know, I really want to figure this out, you know, whatever the case may be. You know, yes, it's never too late, but like,
you know what?
By now,
it's like, yeah. Now, granted, your partner, whoever, man, woman, whatever, your partner could bring out the best in you or motivate you to be your best. But that ambition, that drive should already be in there.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now you could help me with some direction. You know what I mean? Help me with some focus. You feel me? But if I'm still trying to figure it out, like nah. Now,
so no, that's what I was saying, is that, you know, I feel like when I'm coming up with something new, or I'm trying to get something new going, I'm definitely the type that'll be like, you know what, you know, I'll tell her about it, be like, baby, you know, I want you to, you know, or not even just want you to do something, but, you know, just be like, you know, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, you know, and then I'll just come up with my plan and do it. Having her support behind me to root me on, like, oh, you know, I know you can do this. Oh, I know you got this in you. You know, that's cool. And it's not, and I feel you, Keela. Like, it's never too late for certain things, because we'll always come up with something new. I mean, I'm in my mid-40s and I'm always coming up with different ideas. Some things I do, some things I'm not going to do. But, you know, when it comes to actually acting on something or getting something going for my life, like, that stuff I've already done. Like, I've done that already. You know, I'm just adding on. What I mean by potential, and I think what Smooth is what can agree as well, we're talking about people who haven't realized anything and they're waiting on somebody to push them to do it, but they're in their 30s and 40s. Like, bro, it's a little late for that. Not to say you won't do it eventually. I hope to God you do, but but you should not be waiting on somebody to do that for you at that point. That's not good. That's not good. And women should not put themselves in the position to support somebody doing that, because you're going down a path of destruction. You're not
enabler.
You're right. It's not going to be a good thing. You know, you can love somebody to death. You can't love them into success. They have to find that for themselves. They have to, you can support them and make them feel good, and that makes them better. That's great. That's great. But what I'm saying is, you can't push a square wheel up a hill. You see what I'm saying? That person's got to round themselves off. Now, if they're already on that path and they're going downhill, and you push them a little faster, that's fine. But they got to be on that path already. They got to be on that path.
Exactly. Now, I can say this, and I mentioned before, I was dealing with we really weren't dealing with each other on that level yet, but she had put me on that pedestal that I didn't earn, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I always remember that. And it wasn't that I couldn't be who she wanted me to be. Because first of all, I could be better. Like, who are you to limit me? You know what I mean? We talk about egos, but who are you to limit me to your frame of who you think I am, first of all? But I knew at that time I wasn't ready for what she wanted. She wanted to be in love, marriage, and all that. You know what I mean? I was out there still in them streets. You hear me? You know what I mean? I wanted to be outside with my hood rat friends doing hood rat shit. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Can't stand you right now.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm raised right. I know right. I know better. But when you're young, you want to be young. You feel me? Like, I had my closest friend. My best friend got married at 20. You feel me? I couldn't do it. I mean, not in 1,000 years. Not if you go back and no. I mean, not at 20. I'm just getting started. My engine's just, we just about to open that thing up on that highway, baby. You feel me? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? We just about to open that thing up. I ain't ready to settle back down. So, that was my reason why I didn't, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And then in another situation to where a woman put me on a pedestal, it was her pedestal. You feel me? It was her idea of who she thought I was. You feel me? So when I'm like, cool, let me tell you who I am. And let's see if you could, find out who I really am. Not who you think I am or who you want me to be. Find out who I am in this moment and tell me, do you still feel the same way? And when I let her know who I was in that moment and was genuine and wholeheartedly, I can tell her thought and perception of me changed. You feel me? So it was one of those situations to where all this time you really never wanted me. You wanted the person who you wanted me to be.
Right.
You feel me? So that's not being fair to me. You know what I mean? That's all that's going to breed if we get together is resentment from me, because now I'm living some life that somebody else got an idea of who I should be. You know what I mean? So I never like put nobody on a pedestal. I don't like nobody put me on some pedestal that I didn't earn. You know what I mean? Take me for who I am. Love me for who I am, and then we can move forward from there.
Right. Indeed.
My love life got a lot easier when I stopped putting women on pedestals. When I start treating them as equals. Like, you gonna be on the side of me. If you're my partner, you're my partner. You're not up here. We're walking hand in hand together, going down this road where we calling our relationship.
Right.
Because you're not looking up at her like, can I please do this with my friends? Or can I wash your feet tonight? Or just we going down this, like, what do you want to do? We in this together, right? Or we going down this road. All right, bet. I'm not on her, I'm not on a pedestal for her either. I'm like, no, this is who I am. If you don't like something, if it's something minor, I might consider changing it. If it's really something if it's something detrimental to us, I'll consider changing it. But this, for the main part, This is me, the guy who likes comic book movies, video games, hanging out with his friends, play chess. I could clean up in some chess, and just
This
just
boy, this
just
boy on
just
them
to,
drugs, man. You gotta stop with the drugs before we start the show, bro.
and, it's this is who I am though. I will love you till the day I die. I promise to do the best I can for our family.
Right.
But this is me. We're walking hand in hand. Because when you put somebody on that pedestal and they don't meet a certain expectation, you're about to be disappointed and fall.
He only saying all this because she already done let us know she got
Stop
that
it.
she got that nigga on ground floor.
But here's the thing, though.
I'm in the basement.
Dane.
The basement.
Here's the thing, though, Dane.
Yeah.
They not gonna be disappointed in me.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna be disappointed in themselves. You can't be disappointed in me. You feel me? Ain't nobody telling you to put me up there.
And that's the thing. That's the thing is when we elevate somebody like that, and then they don't meet that expectation, or they don't fulfill that potential, or they don't, act on this upliftment. Then we risk that resentment. We risk that disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, in either them or ourselves, we risk those things that will end up just breaking down the relationship. And Keela, I saw your comment about the mental health factors. That's a whole different situation. That's a whole different. We're not talking about people with mental health. We're not talking about people with different psychological issues that may hinder or that may challenge their abilities to do certain things, because then they do need support and push and accommodation. They do need that. So that's what I'm talking about. Definitely not that. I'm talking about regular run-of-the-mill people who just haven't gotten their shit together, who made the decision not to have their shit together. So I'm talking about a whole different situation.
Hey, you know what? Look here. Thanks for giving us another topic for another show on this one. Thank you.
But she says don't judge when you put them there and they didn't need to be, and that's the thing. I think that when I think about my last relationship and how I put her on the pedestal, I made that mistake. And it was good from a standpoint of, I was able to allow certain things to happen without being like, tripping about certain things. And then I also felt like it was, in one way, it was like it helped in terms of especially when I was younger and I was just getting into the relationship, being able to kind of like, trying to think of the best word to use, basically stabilize myself, right? And be like, I got to do what I can to make her happy. I got to do what I can to keep her satisfied, But then what I didn't realize, what I was also doing was I was creating this side of myself where I was second guessing myself. I would not be assertive about the things I needed or assertive about the things that I wanted out of the relationship. I was giving up way more than I was taking in. You know what I'm saying? Like I would, instead of give and take, I was just giving. You see what I'm saying? So and the only good thing about it was that she didn't fully take advantage of it, only that one time. But for the most part, it just created this mismatch. You know what I'm saying? Because she would expect me to do certain things, and I'm sitting back like, well, what do you want? How do you want this done? What do you want? You know what I mean? And me not ever saying, you know what, this is how I want things to go. You know what I'm saying? Which the bad thing about that is because it created this mismatch in her mind of what I was doing. She would sometimes feel like, one, I was indecisive about certain things, even though I was just trying to give in to her wants. Or she would feel like I was not being assertive enough about things that needed to be accomplished, because either I'm waiting for her to say, this is what I want out of this, or for her to make a decision to say, you know what, this isn't, or not a decision, but for her to change her mind and say, you know what, I no longer want this out of our home or our family or whatever the case may be. I want this now. You know what I'm saying? So it put me at a standstill almost, because I was always waiting on her not to make a decision all the time, but to sometimes just push and say, you know what, I really want this different. You see what I'm saying? Instead of me going, you know what, I really want something different. I had no preference in anything. So that kind of created this mismatch in that.
Now, I was going to ask you about that because a lot of people have the same thought process, but sometimes, like me, for myself, I really don't care. Like, long as the house ain't completely pink, do what you want to do. Like, I really don't have no say. Like,
my house was completely pink. So, like I said, I just was like, whatever. Like literally. Like,
you don't want to put my sister on a pedestal. So that's your fault.
Let me ask y'all something though, since we're in the after show.
yeah,
something.
All right.
So I know y'all talked about this in the discussion group, and I forget how the actual question was worded. But what's something nothing shallow? That's why nothing shallow. But what's something in a relationship? Like for me, something that like, and I'm talking about somebody you really love, right? Or in love with. Now, relationship going on, and then it's something you find out about them. You like, oh, this is a deal breaker. But y'all already all in. Like for me, it was pressure. I didn't like how a particular who I was in love with, who I was, ready to do, spend the rest of my life with. But things arise, and I seen, boom, unforeseen occurrences befall us all. And I realized she couldn't handle pressure. You feel me? Or I didn't like how she handled pressure. Let me put it that way. You feel me? I didn't like how she handled pressure.
Right.
And whether it be it was financial or something, life threatening, whatever. I just didn't like how she dealt with pressure. And that immediately, because I come from a bunch of women who raised me, who was under immense pressure and handled it admirably. They weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They wasn't, but I seen them handle it admirably with dignity, I should say. With dignity. You feel me? So that was a deal breaker to where I was like, wow, I really messed this up. Or this choice really messed it up for me. What do y'all have any situations to where, something like that, to where it came further along in the relationship? Not,
Yeah, I've gone through that in a couple of relationships where I discovered things, and I think sometimes, like in your situation, you probably just only discovered that because there was no scenarios early on enough to help you understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem, is that we it's life, right? It's life, it's time. Everything's about time. Wow, shit. 3, damn.
It's one heck of a drug.
Apparently, but damn, yeah, that's messed up. And definitely when you can't read that, that's hard. That's a hard one. But for me, same thing happened to me with a situation I was in where I didn't realize, which is kind of weird. I kind of knew that the person was deceptive sometimes. I just didn't realize how deceptive and how often that they were being deceptive. I don't think it happened a lot, but then when it really affected me, the deception was too much, especially because I was like calling the person out on it, like, hey, this is happening, and then they're basically trying to treat me like I'm stupid. You know what I'm saying? And that was definitely a turnoff for me, because I'm like, that I can't deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's like at some point, people are going to lie to you. I understand that. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I hate liars. I can never be with somebody who would tell a story, blah blah blah. No, I'm not that kind of person. If you lied about something to try to protect my emotions, my feelings, my situation, I'm going to try to see the good things that you've done. I'm going to try my best to see that. Long story short, what I'm trying to say is that when it's a situation where I feel like you're now caught, be honest. Like, just be honest. Because I'm the type of person, I've admitted, like, hey, I like to massage the truth. I will omit things to keep from lying. I will do certain things and say certain things to get around a situation. I've definitely prided myself in jobs where I've worked the truth to my advantage. Mm-hmm. So but the thing for me is that also, though, once you're caught, I'm gonna need you to be honest. Once you have found out, I'm gonna need you to just be honest, especially if I already know the truth. Don't try to make me look stupid when I already know the truth. Because at this point, now we have nothing.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You know how we always say that people who go searching always finds? My thing is, if I found it, just admit it. Because now, if you're trying to tell me it don't exist and I know I found it, now we don't have nothing.
Exactly. What about you, Dan?
An example, or you lost for words?
No. I'm trying to debate. Do I want to tell the story again? Deal breaker. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Not cocaine. I was injured on a job when I was living in Florida, and I was dating my ex from Pittsburgh. She said 3 times that I don't want to take care of somebody the rest of my life who's injured. At this time, I had just lost my job because I didn't lose my job, but I was on leave because I basically couldn't walk. My hip was messed up, my back, my knee, from this stupid accident. No, she said that 3 times. I'm like, I'm 25. I just got in an accident. I can't work. I am sorry. I understand the first time might be out of frustration, like Clint said, pressure. I seen how you deal pressure, but 3 times you said that. Now, what if we were married? How would you have felt then? Like, what if I was permanently with this person? I cannot be with somebody who doesn't have my back.
and that's why I go back to one of Lakeela's statements.
Not the cocaine one, right?
Nah, to know who you're dealing with.
Right.
That's sometimes you don't know. You feel me? Sometimes you don't know, and sometimes that person don't know themselves. You feel me? How they gonna react in certain situations? You feel me? Like with that situation right there, dang, I've seen it happen on quite a few occasions. I seen a friend who was married, bro. He got hurt and he couldn't work. He was out of work. Now, when you took those vows, this is why I say like people really just be getting married for the look sometimes.
I's married now, so they can say it.
You know what I mean? And a lot of, I know a lot of women just do it for the look, or just to say they got a husband or they got a ring.
I'm a wife. Yeah, I'm a wife.
A wife. But he got hurt. He was on disability for a minute, and she kicked him out. Ooh. You feel me? He eventually went back. But with me, oh no. Like I told him, you feel me? Now, everybody got lit. I can never go back. Because what if it happened again? Just because you got better, what if it happened again? You feel me? She left you on your own.
Right.
She left you on your own.
Flapping in the wind.
You feel me? And my thought process was always, now she told you that. What if something happened to her?
It would be respect. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a cold-hearted person.
She gonna want somebody to be there for her and hold her down.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that selfishness, bro. Like, yeah, I seen that.
You know what, Clint? That was strike 2 and 3. Strike 1 was when she was trying to push my buttons because I told her growing up I had a bad temper, and one day she on purpose, she kept trying to push me. Like, what are you doing? Kept trying to push me, trying to get in my face. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, what now? What if I wasn't that? What if I was that same person and you were stuck with me? That's not cool on your part. Trying to push me, you would try to be the one to suppress me and try to make me cool as I can be, or not even try to go down that road. You just avoid it altogether.
I think
they was her idea of some kind of test or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that's not like
you
gonna hit me.
You got to be able to make sure you support yourself. You got to never bristle up at me. You got to take all these L's. And so
I got this 4'9" midget trying to beat me up. I'm like, what are you doing?
But, communication is key, man. Like that's always our main theme on this show. Is for over these past 6 years now.
Communication and content.
Yeah, communication has always been the theme of this show because one thing I realized about relationships and sometimes the infatuation or lust overrides the real or common sense sometimes. You feel me?
Yes.
A lot of us are in or have been in relationships we should have never been in just because we were infatuated in the beginning or we were lustful, but we never communicate. We never really most people don't really get to know each other. When I think back, you feel me, about all the women, I honestly, bro, I've really only been in like 3 real relationships. You feel me? 3 real relationships in my life because I take them serious. You feel me? I can't attach. I mean, if I attach myself to you, you feel me? I got to take everything that comes with you.
Right.
You feel me? Your family, all that trauma that I got to take all that. So I just don't willy-nilly jump into relationships. You feel me? But what I've learned, is even I have plenty of situationships, plenty of those, a plethora of those. You feel me? And what I've learned in those situations is communication was always lacking. You feel me? We never really took time to get to know each other. You feel me? We got comfortable with what we know, and we just wanted to deal with each other on that level. You feel me? And I notice a lot of people do that, but they end up actually attaching themselves to each other in a relationship to where like you really with somebody you don't know. And I'll also add to that this internet, this how people meeting each other online and all that has added to poor communication skills as well.
True that.
Yes.
It really has added to poor, and it's set from the cell phone to texting. You know what I mean? I was me and this one girl, we was talking, and like she was more vocal or how should I say? She was more verbose in the text than when we was together.
You've been studying, haven't you?
You know what I mean? So
you got that thesaurus going.
And like that used to frustrate the hell out of me. It's like how when we texting each other or something like that, you could be all in, have all this profound stuff to say, but then when we get in front of each other, you know what I mean? It's like you're mute. You feel
so
me?
In her defense,
wow,
I'm the same way. I'm like, I mean, if once I get to really, really, really know a woman, then I can be more talkative. But for the most part, especially during those first few, first few weeks, I'm usually like, I can come up with stuff to say on text. But I'm usually not. I definitely, like, if I'm on a phone, the woman has to be a really talkative kind of person. Like, she's got to be able to hold that whole conversation, because on like communicating by voice, or if I'm face to face, I'm not going to be comfortable enough to do it. And I don't know what it is. I'd always say I'm just shy. Nobody ever believes me. But I would just say I'm just kind of shy, and I don't know what it is. I just really don't have enough At least in my mind, I don't feel like I have enough to really say or to really, But then once I actually have a working relationship with that person, where it's like, okay, I know them better. I can, I know the type of conversations that we're gonna have, that kind of thing. Then I can be more talkative, and then it'll be a match between what I'm saying in text versus how vocal I am in person or over the phone or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think it's always been one of those things where there was this mismatch for me, So yeah, definitely been there.
I can dig it.
But I think you're right. I think part of that is definitely because I hadn't been forced to, right? I mean, growing up, there was no cell phones, no pagers, nothing like that. But I also didn't really communicate with people outside of my family. You know what I'm saying? By the time I started really talking to women, there were, there was text messaging, there was, there was email, there was other avenues, and so I got used to that. I used to be in chat rooms back when chat rooms was the thing back in the day, before the Bill Gates internet came, or before Al Gore's internet really took off. So that was my biggest thing, was over chat, over text, that kind of thing. I'm still learning. So luckily, I'm in a relationship now where it's not, a problem, where I'm probably very, very vocal both ways. So it's not really an issue.
Emojis don't count.
I still send a lot of those.
Me too.
Don't be emoji shaming me.
to go back to the early part of the show when we was talking about initiation or who be. With me, my problem was always the initial, especially when it came to that initial interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That first, like, how to break that ice. Once the ice is broken, you feel me, I am good.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But for some reason, growing up, I always had an issue with breaking the ice. You feel me? Because what I've noticed is sometimes I'm too straightforward.
Okay.
I'm too honest, and like that make people nervous.
Mm-hmm.
That make people nervous straight from the door if you just straightforward. You know what I mean? Whereas me, I love it. Be straightforward because I like to know where you stand or where I stand with you. You know what I mean? So
I don't have no problem with that. I'm usually, well, y'all know how I am. I'm this crazy one here. So I'm the icebreaker. It's like, it's fun to me. Like, I want to see how your reaction is when I act crazy. Like, are you going to reciprocate? Oh, are you funny too? Oh, okay, we can get along just fine. But if you just going to act all stuck up,
Why they gotta be stuck up though?
an icebreaker to me, it could be just as simple as say, "Hey, how you doing?"
right?
I get that. Okay, boom. Know what I mean?
Right.
1,000 miles ahead. You feel me?
Right.
But
Yeah, no
sometimes
doubt.
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
crazy. They're
yeah.
crazy.
Sometimes it was just you. You know what I mean?
They're crazy and stuck up.
You know what I mean? And then as far as the on the phone, I agree with you. I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Like I hate. You feel me? Like I feel like them conversations. If you on the phone, that conversation should last. I'm trying to hear y'all my experts. You know, like that conversation on the phone with a woman or with anybody, man. Like I need that shit to be like, boom. Let's get straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I don't like to just rambling, talking about nothing. Like that shit get on my nerves. You feel me? Like we could do that in person. I'd rather do that in person. I'd rather listen to you ramble in person. But over the phone, it's like, nah. Like, nah, I'm about to hang this shit up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, definitely the in person is much better to me. Like I don't mind texting, I don't mind chat at all. But definitely I'm not a phone person. I'm definitely not the type of person that's just going up and call you. Definitely not going to do that. I definitely, oh, that's a good topic right there for sure.
That's next week. That's next week's show.
I'm more I'm definitely going to be more interactive in person, or like I said, over something I'm comfortable with, but definitely not the phone. I mean, I've been in situations where I've talked on the phone with somebody, like like I say, if they're a talkative person, and they have the ability to I would say basically not just hold a conversation. I can hold a conversation, as we can all tell. It's the problem is starting conversations, because once again, overthinking. I overthink the hell out of a topic to talk about. I'll be like, oh, what should I talk about? And I'll be going over in my head 73 different topics and never pull one out. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really help when you're on the phone in real time and you're not getting body language. You're not really, you know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Where if I'm in person, either I'm going to be talking off of their body language, maybe our surroundings, wherever we are, because I'll be loving to go traveling and whatnot. So I'll be feeling like I gotta do that as well. Make the conversation interesting. Like we're not just gonna go to Starbucks. We're gonna go to LA. We're gonna go to Miami. Let's go have a conversation in Pittsburgh. So no, Damon, you don't like that. But my thing is that I feel like you do have to be comfortable, though. But like you said, no matter what, you got to communicate. You got to be able to have these conversations. You got to be able to make your wants, your needs known, and you got to understand where they are, what their needs are. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's what happened to me. That's what happened with me when I was putting a woman on a pedestal. Is not being able to convey my wants and needs, because my communication became one-sided. It became like per se, yes.
It'll pop up on you, Britt.
Right. Pull up. So I think that it's like you definitely want to be on that equal footing, so that way you can have those conversations and you can be able to get what you want out of the relationship, and vice versa.
I got it.
Yes, communication is everything.
What was the topic on this?
There's a couple other things you need to.
Yeah.
What was the topic? What was the topic again? This last part. Lost my thought.
Oh, just talking about the communication is key. That's all we're just talking about. So.
I was gonna make a point, and I can't remember now. Oh well. I know. Oh, Chris Rock made the best point. Yeah, Chris Rock made the best comment during one of his sketches about the cell phone usage. How his grandfather was married, I want to say 60, 70 years with his grandmother. He said, that's nothing. I got you beat because you didn't have a cell phone back then. Now we got instant communication with our wives, and like 24/7. I could be at work, get a phone call. He has to wait. He has to go to an 8-hour shift, 10-hour shift, work, come home, hear all about all the news. Now I get texts, I get phone calls while I'm at work, when I go to the grocery store. So I've outlasted his marriage with my 12.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
Sense.
That is really a good point, because and I think I was going to mention this earlier. Thanks for bringing that up too, because I was going to mention that earlier too. Was that I think one thing that cell phones, pagers, and social media has now done is put our relationships on like fast forward. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that we couldn't do in these earlier relationships, in these earlier times, that we can do now, and have this basically have, I would say, months of relationship completed before we even meet each other. You know what I'm saying?
Instant access.
You said it's a who?
Instant access.
Instant access. Thank you.
You have instant access to your lives.
And not only the instant access, but that ability to constantly have constantly communicate. You know what I'm saying? I just remember being in a situation where basically I only was able to text back and forth with this person, and rarely got to talk on the phone. We just basically went back and forth on text for like 2 or 3 months, and it felt like we'd known each other for years after that. You see what I'm saying? And it's like that happens now because we have that kind of access. You know what I'm saying? And then that makes it where, we're we're basically completing all these steps and milestones before we even, have time under us, before we
But
get
you know what?
in.
But you know what that do though? That take the emotion out of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You feel me? It take the
Well, you
feeling
have to
out of
work harder to keep the emotion in.
it. Yeah. You feel me? Because everything is like instant macaroni. Like, man, if you starving and you know what I mean, or you at lunch at work on lunch, you need something real quick. Everything come in handy. But that shit never was good be as good as baked macaroni. You know what I mean? It'll never be as good as baked macaroni.
Right.
Because but
Never.
with baked you gotta put that time in. You gotta put that extra effort in. You know what I mean? You gotta put some love in that food. You feel me? And that's what with relationships, like you said, everything is so now every instant. We feel we feel like we know people for years. You know what I mean? Or we know them better than, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. You feel me? Because communication a lot of times is nonverbal. You feel me? You know what I mean? You gotta know people cues. You gotta be able to, you know what I mean, having a conversation with somebody and you can see if it make them feel uncomfortable or not. Or you see if they reacting properly. You can't really do that through text. You feel me? You really can't. You can get a sense of it through talking on the phone because the tone in people's voice. But through texting and stuff like that and social media, you know what I mean, you really to me you really don't get to know nobody. You don't get to know anybody. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
You don't really get to
Yeah.
know
I mean, like I say, I think you definitely have to work harder at it if you do want to do it right. Yeah,
like
Jasmine
Jasmine. Yep.
said, new communication lacks intimacy like face to face. Indeed, you know. But I mean, like in my situation, I mean, having a longer distance relationship,
In a
it,
pandemic.
it forced me to be really creative, right? You
In
get
the
to a point where
pandemic.
you have to, and I think it helped in a way because it also we were able to separate the outside noise, you know what I'm saying, and the things that you get involved with when you're like with a person all the time and have easy, even easier face-to-face access. But and we did it the right way in terms of saying, you know what, we're going to have to act, we're going to really get to know each other, we're really going to sit down and say, okay, how do you, what do you do about this, how do you feel about that, what's your feelings on this, what's your feelings on that, having these interactions on FaceTime, text, and whatever the case may be, and on the phone. But not everybody's doing that, right? Not everybody's taking the time to ask the right questions, to do the right things. They're just having this instant communication and instant access to just blast past a lot of things, right? To get through, some of the what we call small talk sometimes, but not only the small talk, the big talk too, right? Some people will think all the small talk on this text, where most of them aren't even using proper grammar and definitely can't spell, and they're watching each other's memes and their Facebook postings, and they think they know the person. A lot of people have even pointed out to you in their thing, like, just because you see me post all this stuff on my Facebook or my Instagram don't mean you know who I am. I'm just posting. And a lot of times that's true. A lot of times, they're only showing you part of who they are, or they're only showing you a little small piece of who they are. Or sometimes they even may be faking it. I know a friend, she posts some wild stuff all the time. And that girl is not wild at all. Like she is like, no, I'm very sublime. I'm very, I'm not that kind of person. I just post that kind of stuff because I know it gets views. I know it gets likes. I know people laugh at it all the time, and that's the only reason she does it. She's not doing it because that's who she is, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of times people misconstrue what they see or the little bit that they're getting and think, oh, I'm in love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're in love with the thought or idea of that person, not the actual person.
True that.
They know them, they don't understand them. I mean, like that's how I
Like,
feel about it. It's a difference between knowing and understanding of somebody, and then you feel me. Like we know a lot of people, but you don't
Right.
really understand them. You feel me until you really get deep with
that
them. You know what I mean, like Jasmine said, intimacy is important. You know what
Right.
I mean,
Very
being
like
in
that
it.
Yeah.
that
That
could
face to
that
face.
could be a social cue. for help. That could be a social cue for help sometimes. Even like, I'm really suffering right now. I need somebody to converse with me. Subconsciously, they reaching out without them knowing or without nobody else knowing, unless you actually know that person.
Oh, what they posting?
Yeah.
When you do postings, sometimes it's a way of reaching out to,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
especially right now during the pandemic. You really can't touch a lot of people. You can't
Women
interact with them.
is
Yeah, so
I've been saying it lately too, and I've been thinking to myself, like, are we still really in the pandemic?
Pandemic. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
neither
Anyway,
did the people without
it's been
masks.
another great show as usual. Definitely appreciate all the comments, all the interactions. Appreciate everybody sharing and liking, and make sure you like, subscribe, share, whatever else you need to do, fan pages, all that stuff. Make sure you guys hit those notification bells so you know when our shows are coming on. Check us out every Monday, 10 p.m. You know we got tons and tons of content. Every Thursday, we have either Styles Radio Takeover or the fans' perspective with the fellas on here. On every couple of Saturdays, we have Sunny's two Saturdays a month. And then during
What's
the
it called?
Disney Plus Marvel shows, you will also be getting Styles and Chevy reviews and recaps. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Oh, and I can't forget about me and my boy. When we see some major movies come out, we'll definitely be doing another Styles and Clark Node review and recap of some major movies. So definitely be on the lookout for all this content. You can catch all the replays free on demand 24/7, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or watch the replays over on Twitch TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Support us while we support you. Get the merchandise. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, masks, fanny packs. We have I don't know, accessories, all kinds of stuff.
Pillows.
gftradio.creator-spring.com. Or click the shop now link on our website over at gftradioshow.com. I just updated the site once again, so there's plenty of replays of all of our content. We have all the podcasts, audio, as well as all of our video replays posted over there. So make sure you go over to our website and check those out, or visit our social media sites for all of our other content that we post here and there and everywhere. So GFT_radio over on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network. Please go like our page over on GFT Radio Network over on Facebook. Join the conversation group. Make sure you join the conversation. We will be giving away some merchandise very, very soon. We actually were supposed to give away some last week. We forgot. So we'll be giving away some merchandise very soon. GFT Radio, or I'm sorry, Facebook.com/groups/GFT. Join the conversation. Make sure you check us out. And get at Sunny. She couldn't be here tonight, but she was in the comments. We definitely appreciate her as always. She's at IamSunny_D on IG, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or visit her at unreservedlyme.com. Smooth.
What's good, people? You already know it's your boy Smooth. Get at me on Twitter at eTrentGroomy. You can visit me, my blog at kingstruth.com. Also, I'm on Snapchat at a King's Truth. Like Willie mentioned earlier, this Thursday, me and Dane, we're gonna give y'all fans perspective. We are a sports show. Another thing, like Willie just mentioned, we got a lot of shows from the past that y'all could go check out, that y'all didn't listen to, that was dope, that we didn't have the it's just audio. I definitely want y'all to go check some of them out, because we had some dope shows then, you know what I mean? So holla at your boy.
Hola, it's me, Dame, at Another Level Up on Instagram. You can catch me on Twitter at Agent D Low and Agent Shinlow21 on Twitch. And I'm sorry, Shinlow21 on Twitch and Agent Shinlow on Xbox and PlayStation Network. Holla.
And you guys know who it is. It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me at Willie Styles everywhere, IG, Twitter, TikTok. I'm Willie.Styles over on Snapchat. I'm actually going to post another couple of pictures on Snapchat today, so look out for that. Visit me at stylesradio.com. Next Thursday, I will be having a Styles Radio takeover. WillieStyles.info. for all my links. You know where to get at me. All right,
All
another
of them?
great show, another great topic is in the books. Thank you again for joining the show. And as always, until next time.
See y'all.
See you in 7. Jinx.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.